Welcome to IRIS online classes. Come to the next one. I've gone for a sentence here. She has to be here between 6 to 7 p.m. in the evening. Now my question is this statement grammatically correct? She has to be here between 6 to 7 p.m. in the evening. Now p.m. in the evening becomes an error with redundancy, repetition. In a sentence, there should not be more than one word conveying the same meaning. If I say a PM itself means evening, so PM in the evening becomes a with redundancy. Every day I have my breakfast in the morning. Does not make sense. Breakfast is something that can be had only in the morning. So breakfast in the morning becomes an error with redundancy. Every day I have my lunch in the afternoon. No, lunch is something that should be had only in the afternoon. So lunch in the afternoon becomes an error with redundancy. Now he is a stupid idiot. Doesn't make sense because stupid itself means idiot. He has taken a short nap. NAP. What do you mean by nap? A short sleep is termed as nap. So short nap becomes an error with redundancy. He has taken a short sleep or he has taken a nap. That's completely fine. She is a lady faculty. She is a lady faculty. She itself tells us that it's a lady, right? So she is a lady faculty becomes error with redundancy. She is a lady doctor, she is a lady conductor, all these are grammatically wrong. She is a postman. She is a lady postman. She and lady will not go together. So okay, I remove the word lady. She is a postman, correct? She cannot be a postman, she will be a postwoman. So she is a postwoman is correct, she is a postman is wrong. My son is a male nurse. Makes sense? My son cannot be a female nurse anyway. My son will of course be male only. So my son is a nurse is completely fine. My son is a nurse. My daughter is a nurse. All these are completely fine. So in a sentence there should not be more than one word conveying the same meaning. If it is there, it becomes error with redundancy. So PM in the evening becomes error with redundancy. Is there any other error in this statement? Now here, one more rule is it. Between cannot be followed by to. Between will be followed by and. This is the rule. Between will be followed by and. So this sentence can be in two ways. One way is she has to be here between 6 and 7 p.m. or else she has to be here between 6 and 7 in the evening. Both are completely fine. She has to be here between 6 and 7 p.m. is correct, or she has to be here between 6 and 7 in the evening is also grammatically correct. Got it? Now between will be followed by and, from will be followed by to. Between will be followed by and, from will be followed by to. If I say every day we have our lunch between 1 and 2 or from 1 to 2. Now, between 1 and 2 means in between 1 and 2 anytime we have a lunch. From 1 to 2 means like starting at 1 o'clock ending at 2 o'clock. So every day we have our lunch between 1 and 2. In between 1 and 2 anytime we have a lunch makes sense. Every day we have our lunch from 1 to 2 means we'll start eating at 1 o'clock, we'll stop eating at 2 o'clock. That means we'll eat continuously for 1 hour. Make sense? Yeah. We can't eat actually. The people who are very fat can eat. Now when we go to a restaurant, we sit there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, eating, speaking, chatting, eating, speaking, chatting. Again, we do the same. It continues. Eating, speaking, chatting, this process continues. So we can sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, doing the same thing. Makes sense. But my question is, which one makes more sense here? Now, usually people don't eat continuously for 1 hour. So between, every day we have a lunch, between 1 and 2 makes more sense here. Come to this one. If I say the lunch break is between 1 and 2 or from 1 to 2. It must be from 1 to 2 because the break starts at 1 o'clock, the break ends at 2 o'clock. So lunch break is from 1 to 2. That makes sense. Come to these statements. I've gone for two sentences. As I said, between will be followed by and, from will be followed by to. So which part? The sentences, two sentences are here. Either of these two sentences is divided into two parts, or both the sentences are divided into two parts. The first sentence divided into two parts, the second sentence also divided into two parts. So both the sentences are divided into two parts. We have to find out whether there's an error or not, and if an error is there, which part, the first part or second part contains an error. Come to the first one. I have to reach there between 6 to 7 in the evening. Between cannot be followed by to. This sentence is grammatically wrong. Come next one. I have to reach there from 6 and 7 in the evening. From is followed by and, grammatically wrong. So both the statements are grammatically wrong. Now my question is, which part of the first sentence contains the error? Which part of the second sentence contains the error? That's my question. Now I told you, the option that we select as the answer. Now when we correct a mistake, the whole sentence must be grammatically correct and the whole sentence must make sense. Every statement must be grammatically correct and must make sense. Come to the first one. I have to reach there between 6 to 7 in the evening. I say in the first sentence, the error is in part 2. Means part 2 contains the error. I have to reach there from 6 and 7 in the evening. I say in the second sentence, the error is in part 1. If I say, I have to reach there between 6 and 7 in the evening. Between 6 and 7 means in between 6 and 7 anytime. Make sense? Yeah. I have to reach there between 6 and 7 in the evening means in between 6 and 7 any time I have to reach there. Come to the second one. I have to reach there from 6 to 7 in the evening. From 6 to 7 means starting at 6 o'clock, ending at 7 o'clock. Now understand, can I reach there from 6 to 7? Possible or not possible? Can I reach there from 6 to 7? No, it is impossible. I can stay there from 6 to 7. Possible. I can stay there from 6 to 7, but I cannot reach there from 6 to 7. It does not make any sense. So in order to make sure that the second sentence makes sense, I should change the first part. I should change from to between. I have to reach there between 6 and 7 in the evening makes sense. The first sentence also says the same now. I have to reach there between 6 and 7 in the evening. So to make sure that the first sentence makes sense, I have to change part 2. And to make sure that the second sentence makes sense, I have to change part 1. So when you correct a mistake, make sure that the whole sentence is grammatically correct and it makes sense. So in the first case, the error is in part 2, between 6 and 7. In the second case, the error is in part 1. I have to reach there between 6 and 7 in the evening. Got it? So between will be followed by and, from will be followed by. This is the rule. Come to these sentences. I've gone for 4 sentences here. Both she and he are not intelligent. Both she as well as he dash intelligent. Options are is are. Both she and he are intelligent. Neither she nor he is intelligent. Leave the second sentence. I give a blank there. We'll find out whether these 3 statements are grammatically correct or not. Come to the second one itself. We have a blank there, right? We'll think about this first, then we'll move on to the other 3. Come to the second one. Both she as well as he dash intelligent. I have given you this rule in the case of subject-verb agreement. As well as, along with, together with, in addition to, accompanied by, besides, give importance only to the first subject. That is what we discussed. The first subject here is she. She is singular. The verb must also be singular. But I say this statement is grammatically wrong. Because the rule is this. Both cannot be followed by as well as. Both cannot be followed by as well as. Both will be followed by and. This is the rule. Now, as I told you earlier, between will be followed by and. Similarly, both will also be followed by and. So, both cannot be followed by as well as. Both will be followed by and. Now, in this statement, both is followed by as well as. So, this sentence is grammatically wrong. Come to the first sentence. Both she and he. Both is followed by and. So, that rule is completely fine. Both he and she are not intelligent. Both is followed by and, but I say that this statement is also grammatically wrong. Because the rule is, as I said, both will be followed by and. Both cannot be accompanied by not. Both will be followed by and. both cannot be accompanied by not, or both will not be accompanied by not. Come to the first statement once again. Both he, she and he, till here completely fine, are not intelligent, both cannot be followed by not. In this statement, both is followed by not, so grammatically wrong. Come to the third statement. Both she and he are intelligent. Both is followed by not. That is completely fine. Now my question is, should it be both she and he are or both she and he is? Understand the meaning of a statement. Both means how many entities are there? Two entities. We can use the word both only when there are two entities. So word both tells us that there are two entities here. Two entities means subject is plural. The verb must also be plural. Subject verb agreement. So it must be are. Both she and he are intelligent. This statement is grammatically correct. Come to the next one. Neither she nor he is intelligent. Neither will be followed by nor. So that concept is completely fine. Now the rule regarding either or neither nor not only but also we discuss in subject verb agreement give importance only to the second subject. That means the verb depends on the second subject. The second subject here is he, singular. The verb must also be singular. Yes is singular. That is also completely fine. This statement is also grammatically correct. Neither she nor he is intelligent is grammatically correct. Now listen, these two statements. Both she and he are intelligent. Neither she nor he is intelligent. These two are grammatically correct, but the meanings are different. The charges are different. Both she and he intelligent. From this statement, is she intelligent? Yes. Is he intelligent? Yes. So meaning of this statement is she is intelligent. He is also intelligent. This sentence is positively charged. Come to the next one. Neither she nor he intelligent. The meaning of this statement is he is not intelligent. She is also not intelligent. This statement is negatively charged. So both are grammatically fine. These two sentences are grammatically correct, but the meanings and the charge is different. The first one is positively charged. The second one is negatively charged. That is the only difference. Both are grammatically fine. Getting it? So both will be followed by and. Both cannot be accompanied by not. This is the rule. Come to the next one. I've gone for some sentences here. Neither of the three children dash well. Options are study, studies. Study is plural. Studies is singular because of the IES. None of the two boys dash cunning. Neither of the two children. It's children. Neither of the two children dash well. None of the three boys dash cunning. Come to the first one. Neither of the three children dash well. I say this sentence is grammatically wrong. I'll tell you why. Come to the second one. None of the two boys dash cunning. I say this sentence is also grammatically wrong. Because the rule is this. Listen. Both either and neither can be used only when there are two entities. Both means two. Both either and neither can be used only when there are two entities. None and any can be used only when there are more than two entities. This is the rule. So both either and neither can be used only in the case of two entities. None and any can be used only in the case of more than two entities. This is the rule. Now come to the first two sentences once again. Neither of the three children. How many entities are here? Three entities are here. I said neither can be used only when there are two entities. So this statement is grammatically wrong. Come to the second one. None of the two boys. How many entities are here? Only two entities are here. None can be used only when there are more than two entities. So this statement is also grammatically wrong. Come to the next one. Neither of the two children dash well. This is a correct usage. Only two entities are here and neither can be used only when there are two entities. That usage is correct. Come to the next one. I'll come back to it. None of the three boys dash cunning. Number of entities here is 3. The number of entities here is 3. None can be used only when there are more than two entities. This usage is also grammatically correct. Come to this statement. Neither of the two children dash well. Options are study, studies. We have discussed this rule in detail in subject-verb agreement. Either or neither nor rule is give importance only to the second subject. We discussed one more rule there. Either without or, neither without nor. I told you this rule in detail. In a sentence, when either appears without or when neither appears without nor, conclude that the subject of the sentence is singular. That's the rule we discussed in subject agreement. So neither comes without or neither comes without nor, it means that the subject is singular. And if the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Come to the statement once again. Neither of the two children dash well. In this statement, neither is there nor is not there. Subject is singular, verb must also be singular. Studies well. And studies is singular because of the IES. Come to the next one. None of the three boys dash cunning. Options are is, are. None is an indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronouns, I gave it as a separate rule in subject of agreement. Each, everyone, everybody, everything, someone, somebody, something, anyone, anybody, anything, no one, nobody, nothing, none. All these are termed as indefinite pronouns. Now, whenever you come across an indefinite pronoun in a sentence, no other rule applies there. That's what we discussed. No other rule applies there. Just conclude that the subject is singular. And if the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. Come to this one now. None of the three boys dash cunning. None is an indefinite pronoun telling us that the subject is singular. The verb must also be singular. None of the three boys is cunning. Getting it? So you should think about the rules that appear in all the topics in order to find out the answer or to find out the error in a sentence. Come to the next one. Now I have gone for some sentences here. 4 sentences. Which of these 4 sentences is so or grammatically correct? She is too intelligent to be fooled. I say this is grammatically correct. She is so intelligent to be fooled. I say this one is grammatically wrong. She is too intelligent that she cannot be fooled. I say grammatically wrong. She is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. I say grammatically correct. Now the rule is this. So will be followed by that. To will be followed by to. TOO2 will be followed by TO2. So will be followed by that. So cannot be followed by to. To cannot be followed by that. It's always to, so that. Now come to the first statement once again. She is too intelligent to be fooled. Too intelligent is negative. Too much of everything is negative. Too good, too intelligent, too smart, too cunning, all this is negative. So intelligent, so good, so smart, all these are positive. Too means something is unnecessary, extra. Too smart means over smart. Too good, more than what is required, in a negative manner. So too intelligent is a negative usage. She is too intelligent to be fooled. Too is followed by to, grammatically correct. Come to the second one. She is so intelligent to be fooled. So is followed by to. So cannot be followed by to, so grammatically wrong. She is too intelligent that she cannot be fooled. To is followed by that. To cannot be followed by that, grammatically wrong. She is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. So is followed by that, grammatically correct. Now the first sentence and the last sentence mean the same. The same meaning, the only thing is expressed in 2 different forms. One is the to form, the other one is the so that form. That is the only difference, the meaning remains the same. Come to the first statement now. She is too intelligent to be fooled. Now my question is, this sentence, whether this statement is negatively charged or positively charged. That is my question. Too intelligent is negative. Too intelligent is negative. To be fooled is also negative. Too intelligent is negative. To be fooled is also negative. We have 2 negative terms in this sentence. Double negation becomes positive. So I say this sentence is positively charged. Because 2 negative terms are here, double negation becomes positive. She is too intelligent to be fooled means She is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. That is the meaning of the statement. I told you, the first sentence and the last sentence mean the same, but two different forms. So the first sentence is positively charged. The last sentence must also be positively charged. Come to the last statement. She is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. Now in the case of a sentence with the usage so that, in the case of a sentence with the usage so that, think only about the part that comes after that. I repeat, in the case of a sentence with the usage so that, think only about the part that comes after that. She is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. Cannot is negative. Be fooled is also negative. We have two negative terms here. Double negation becomes positive. So she is too intelligent to be fooled is the same as she is so intelligent that she cannot be fooled. The same meaning, the same charge, the same meaning. The only thing is expressed in two different forms. One is a to form, the other one is a so that form. So TOO2 will be followed by TO2. So will be followed by that. This is the rule. Come to the next one. Come to the statement. English, these two sentences. The first one. English is too difficult to be taught. English is so difficult that it cannot be taught. English is too difficult to be taught. To is followed by to, grammatically correct. Come to the second one. English is so difficult that yet, it means English, yet cannot be taught. So is followed by that, grammatically correct. Now my question is the first sentence come to the first one. Now my question is this statement, the first statement, negatively charged or positively charged? That is my question. English is too difficult to be taught. I say this sentence is negatively charged. Now here, she is too intelligent to be fooled. I said it is positively charged. But English is too difficult to be taught. I say it is negatively charged. Now, in the previous statement, she is too intelligent to be fooled. How many negative terms are here? Two. Too intelligent is negative. To be fooled is also negative. Two negative terms, so double negation becomes positive. Come to this statement now. English is too difficult to be taught. How many negative terms are here? There is only one negative term. TOO2 will not come alone. There will be an adjective along with it. Too smart, too good, too cruel, too bad, too cunning, too difficult, too powerful. There will be an adjective along with it. Too difficult is negative. To be taught is negative, positive. To be taught is positive. There is only one negative term in this sentence, so this statement is negatively charged. Whereas in the sentence, she is too intelligent to be fooled, we have two negative terms. Too intelligent is negative, to be fooled is also negative. Two negative terms are here, so double negation becomes positive. Whereas in this statement, the only negative term is too difficult. To be taught is positive. There is only one negative term here, so whole sentence is negatively charged. The same idea will frame in the so that form. The next sentence. English is so difficult that it cannot be taught. So is followed by that. And as I told you, in the case of a sentence with so that, think only about the part coming after that. English is so difficult that yet cannot be taught. Yet cannot be taught is negatively charged. So both the sentences mean the same. Both are negatively charged. The same meaning, but two different forms. One is a to form, the other one is a so that form. Getting it? Come to these statements. The tea is too hot to be served. The tea is so hot that it cannot be served. Come to these two first. The tea is too hot to be served. To is followed by to, grammatically correct. The tea is so hot that it cannot be served. So is followed by that. Come to the first one. The tea is too hot to be served. This sentence is negatively charged or positively charged? How many negative terms are here? Only one negative term, that is too hot. To be served is positive. There is only one negative term in this sentence, so this sentence is negatively charged. In the to form it is negative, so in the so that form also it must be negative. The tea is so hot that yet cannot be served. We need to focus only on the part that comes after that. Yet refers to T. Yet cannot be served as negative. So the whole statement is negatively charged. Both are grammatically fine, the same meaning but two different forms. Come to these two. The tea is very hot to be served. The tea is very hot that yet cannot be served. Which of these two sentences is grammatically correct? That's my question. And I say both. Neither of these two sentences is grammatically correct. Because very cannot be followed by to. Similarly, very cannot be followed by that. I told you, to will be followed by to. So will be followed by that. Very cannot be followed by that or to. So these two sentences should not be agreed to. Both are grammatically wrong. Get it? If I say, she is too beautiful, full stop. She is so beautiful, full stop. She is very beautiful, full stop. Which of these two options must be considered? Come to the first two. She is too beautiful, negative. She is so beautiful, positive. Now always maintain a positive attitude. Whenever you come across two correct options, one giving a negative meaning, one giving a positive meaning, always go for the option that gives a positive meaning to a sentence. Always maintain a positive attitude. There will be questions that test your attitude as well. So when you compare these two, she is too beautiful, she is so beautiful, the better option here must be she is so beautiful. So she is too beautiful is eliminated. Now we have two options left. She is so beautiful, she is very beautiful. Both are positively charged. Now as I said, so will be followed by that, to will be followed by to. Based on that, she is too beautiful eliminated, she is so beautiful eliminated, the answer must be she is very beautiful. Getting it? So when you come across more than one correct option, be critical and go for the best option. I have gone for some sentences here. Which of these is so are grammatically correct? Come to the first one. He is no person but my friend. The second one. He is no other person but my friend. The third. He is no person than my friend. The fourth. He is no other person than my friend. Come to the first one. He is no person but my friend. I say this is grammatically correct. I'll tell you why. The second one. He is no other person but my friend. I say grammatically wrong. The third. He is no person than my friend. Grammatically wrong. The fourth. He is no other person than my friend. Grammatically correct. Now, the first sentence and the fourth sentence mean the same. The same meaning, the only thing is expressed in two different forms. One is the other than form, the other one is the but form. Come to the first one. He is no person but my friend means he is my friend. We don't use this statement. Even though it sounds absolutely incorrect, it's completely fine. He is no person but my friend means he is my friend. Come to the second one. He is no other person but my friend. Other will be followed by than. That's the rule. Other will be followed by than. In this statement, other is not followed by than, so grammatically wrong. Come to the third statement. He is no person than my friend. In fact, this rule comes in adjectives. We'll discuss adjectives next after conjunctions. Now the rule is this. Than will be preceded by, I'll tell you in detail adjectives. Than will be preceded by an er word or more word. Before than, we'll discuss adjectives of the pronouns in fact. Before than, there must be an er word or more word. Er means like stronger, taller, sharper, higher, lower. More words means more intelligent, more beautiful, more powerful, more handsome, etc. So before than, there must be an er word or more word. That is the rule. Come to the third statement once again. He is no person than my friend. In this statement, than is not preceded by an er word or more word, so grammatically wrong. Come to the fourth one. He is no other person than my friend. In this statement, other is followed by than, grammatically correct. Now I told you these two sentences mean the same. He is no person but my friend means he is my friend. Similarly, he is no other person than my friend also means he is my friend. The same idea expressed in two different forms. One is the but form, the other one is the other than form. That's the only difference. The meaning remains the same. To give you one more example on this concept, come to this. She is no lady but my principal. She is no lady but my principal means she is my principal, grammatically correct. The same idea we can frame in the other than form. She is no other lady than my principal. Other is followed by than. She is no other lady than my principal also means she is my principal. The same meaning but two different forms. One is a but form, the other one is a other than form. The meaning remains the same. Got it? Come to the next one. Seldom or never, often or ever. I'll explain why. I'll explain why it is seldom or never and often or ever. Come to this. Either seldom or ever. Now, or in the sense, either is understood there. If I say a pen or a pencil, that's the same as either a pen or a pencil. A boy or a girl is the same as either a boy or a girl. So, seldom or never, this one. Come to this rule. Seldom or never, often or ever. Now, or in the sense, either is understood here. Or in the sense, either is understood here. If I say a pen or a pencil, that's the same as either a pen or a pencil. A girl or a boy is the same as either a girl or a boy. Now, as you know, either or is a support indicator. I gave you the list of support indicators. Seldom means rarely. The opposite of seldom is often. Often means like usually, frequently. Never means not even once. The opposite of never is ever, and ever means always, every time. Seldom means rarely, which is negatively charged. Often is positively charged, because often is the opposite of seldom. Never is negatively charged. Ever is positively charged, because ever is the opposite of never. Now come to these. I'll come back to what is written here. Come to these first. Either, seldom or ever. Either or is a support indicator. A support indicator must always connect either two positive ideas or two negative ideas. Seldom is negative. Ever is positive. A support indicator cannot connect a negative idea and a positive idea. So this is a wrong usage. Come to the next one. Either, often or never. Either or is a support indicator. Often is positive. Never is negative. The same reason, a support indicator cannot connect a positive idea and a negative idea. So this is also a wrong usage. Come to the next one. Either, seldom or never. Either or is a support indicator. Seldom is negative. Never is also negative. A support indicator can connect two negative ideas. This is a correct usage. Either, often or ever, the same. Either or is a support indicator. Often is positive. Ever is also positive. A support indicator can connect two positive ideas. This is also a correct usage. So the correct usage must be seldom or never. Or means either is understood here. Seldom or never means either, seldom or never. Correct usage. Often or ever. Or in the sense either is understood here. So often or ever is the same as either, often or ever. So the correct usage must be seldom or never, often or ever, and the reason is this. Got it? Because either or is a support indicator. A support indicator must always connect either two positive ideas or two negative ideas. It cannot connect one positive idea and one negative idea. So these are the rules that appear in the topic conjunctions. We have completed the rules. We'll go for an exercise on this topic based only on these rules. We need to have valid logical reason for selection as well as elimination. Clear? Right. Thank you.